In this video, we're going to be talking about how to express different numbers in standard form or scientific notation. So let's start with some numbers here. Now we have 0.00562. So how do we express this in standard form? And the first thing that we have to do is to move the decimal point next to the first significant number. Okay, we move the decimal point next to the first significant number. Now this 0 is not significant, this one is not, so we're going to move it next to the 5 here. So we have 5.62. Okay, next thing, okay, we have times 10 to the power of. So the next thing we're going to check is how far did we move the decimal point? Okay, 1, 2, 3. So we move the decimal point three times or to 3 places. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So we have 5.62. Now, where did the decimal point come from? It came from the left. So our answer will be 5.62 times 10 to the power minus 3. The minus because it came from the left, and 3 because we moved the decimal places, the decimal point by 3 places. Okay, so that's how you can change this to a decimal standard form or scientific notation. Now let's look at this one, 56200 or 56,200. The first question is, where is the decimal point? Now for a whole number like this, okay, for a whole number, the decimal point is always after the last number. So example, 45 will be the same thing as 45.0. So the decimal point is always at the end of the number, or is always after the last number. So it means that here, the decimal is here, just after this 0. So what do? We want to move the decimal point next to the first significant number. So we start counting. Our first significant number here is 5. So we have 5.62. Now we can ignore this at zeros here. Okay. And then how far did we move the decimal points? So we started from here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we moved it 4 places, okay? Times. And where did the decimal place come from? It came from the right. It's going towards the left, okay? The decimal point came from the right. It's going and went towards the left. So it should be 5.62 times 10 raised to the power 4. Yeah, because it came from the right. It's going towards the left. For this one, it came from the left. So it's like it came from the negative area. Okay, and this one came from the right, from like the positive area. So that's how I like to see it. If you're coming from that, it's like you're coming from the negative area. If you're coming towards from the right, you're coming from the positive area. So let's try this one. Again, we put the decimal point next to the first significant number here, which is 4. That'll be 4.017. Okay, times 10 to the power of. So how far did we move the decimal point? Just 1, 2. Okay, and where is the decimal point coming from? It's coming from the left. So that's minus 2. Okay, now I couldn't ignore this 0. This 0 here is significant because it is between two numbers, okay, two actual numbers, two real numbers, 4 and 1. Okay, if I had something like, say if I had something like 0.040000, yeah, then I can choose to ignore this, all these zeros here. Okay, but since this 0 is in, I like to use the word it's sandwiched. between two real numbers, 4 and 1. So you can't just ignore it. It's not something, it's still significant in this situation. So it's like a sandwich 0. Now, okay. All right, so let's try 43. So 43, again, the decimal point is at the end. Okay, so then we have to move the decimal point next to the first significant number, which is 4. 4.3 times 10. How far did we move the decimal point? Just move it once. So that's 10 raised to the power 1, or you can just write 10. That's up to you. Okay, so since it's 10 raised to the power 1, you can decide to write 10. And it's coming from the right, so it's positive. So I'm just going to put this here. 4.3 times 10 raised to the power 1. The raised to the power 1 is optional. Okay, it's optional in this situation. You can just write 4.3 times 10. Or you can still write 10 raised to the power 1. It's very rare that people write 10 raised to the power 1. You just write 10. Now, this one we have 10,000. So again, we do the same thing. We move the decimal point next to the first significant number here, which is 1. So we have 1.0, or you can just write 1 times 10 to the power of. So how far did the decimal place or decimal point move? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's coming from the right. So that's okay. 1.0 times 10 raised to the power 4. Okay. Now sometimes, not all, but sorry. Sometimes maybe some text might just ignore the 1.0 and just write 10 raised to the power 4. So there's kind of the same thing. When you see 1.0 times 10 raised to the power 4, or you might just see 10 raised to the power 4, they're kind of the same thing. Okay, so sometimes the 1.0 is ignored because anything times 1 is still that number. So sometimes generally it's like this, but you shouldn't be surprised if you just see it like this. All right, so let's go to changing from standard form back to regular form. So we have 4.34 times 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, so what do we do here? Let's look at the power. So it's minus and 2. So it means that we're going to go 2 places to the left. Okay, because you know, when I said when we say it's minus, it means it's coming from the left towards the right, and if it's plus or it's a positive number, it's coming from the right. So here this is minus, so we're taking it back to the left. So we have 4.34, so we have to move this 2 places to the left. 1, 2, 0.0. Okay, this becomes 0.0434. And if we change it back to standard form, all we just have to do, put the decimal point next to the 4, 4.34 times 10 to the power. Where is it coming from? It's coming from the left, minus, how far did it go? 1, 2. $7.31. Okay, so again 4, so it means we're going 4 places to the right. So we're going back to the right, so 7.31. So with the decimal points, 1, 2, 3, 4. Add some zeros here. So the answer will be 7310. So this is 73,100. Sorry, 73,100. All right, this one 8.92 times 10 to the power 6 again. So we have 892 So we're going to move it 6 places to the right. Okay, we're going back to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just add zeros here. So we have 8, 9, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, this is 8,920,000. 8,920,000. Okay, so perhaps you can try this and tell me what you get in the comments. Okay, try it, and I'll, I think first person to get the correct answer, I'll pin it in the comments and maybe give more explanation on this. But I hope this helps. So again, from standard form, from regular form to standard form, and then from standard form back to regular form. Just to recap. Okay, so erase this. Okay, so again, with a converting standard form, first we put the decimal point next to the first significant number, so 5.62 times 10 to the power. How far did we move the decimal point? 1, 2, 3. 2, yes, 3. And where is it coming from? Is it left or the right? The left, so minus 5.6 times 10 to the power minus 3. So again, you can just try all this and tinker with it and try different ways, and let me know if you have any questions. So thank you very much and have a nice day.